Okay, perfect. The floor is yours.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the January 31st meeting of the Rochester City Planning Commission. We are meeting tonight under extraordinary circumstances. Our community, along with other communities around the nation and the world, have been observing social distancing and other health safety measures to slow the progress of the COVID-19 pandemic. To allow normal or near normal operations of city government functions to continue, the governor of New York has declared a national disaster emergency and has issued multiple executive orders, and the city of Rochester mayor has issued several local emergency orders, which together authorize the holding of this hearing virtually, subject to waivers of certain requirements of the New York State Opens Meetings Law and the Rochester Zoning Code. In addition, at a prior meeting, we amended the Planning Commission rules and procedures to allow us to conduct this hearing as authorized by the governor's and the mayor's emergency orders, and to waive other requirements to allow us to proceed with this hearing, as I will now describe. Primarily, these waivers involve the requirement of in-person attendance at this hearing. The emergency orders permit us to hold this hearing by teleconference with no in-person attendance, allow applicant presentations and public testimony by teleconference, written comments both in favor of or opposed to the application. Great. Written comments both in favor of or opposed to the application have been submitted by email, by hand copy documents, mailed to the zoning office, or deposited to the secure drop box located in the permit office of City Hall. The deadline for submit written comments was 5 p.m. Friday, January 28th, 2022, and the deadline to register to provide spoken comment was 12 noon today, January 31st, 2022. Although the conduct of this hearing has been altered from its normal procedures, many things remain the same. All the normal notifications for this hearing included mail notice, publication, and posting of the notice were followed. A staff report has been prepared for each application, and along with the application, other pertinent documents has been permitted to the commission members and posted online several days prior to tonight's meeting. All the normal timeframes for applicant presentations, comments in favor of or opposition to the application will remain the same. Most importantly, the commission will hear, review, and make decisions on all applications with the same diligence and the same standards as required by the zoning code. Before we begin, I would like to explain the ground rules for tonight's hearing. When a case is called, all applicants will be allowed 15 minutes to present the cases to the commission. Applications were all posted on the city's website at least a week ago and were available for public review. All applicants were advised to ensure that their applications were complete and include all information that they intend to present at tonight's hearing. The applications is permitted as the application is permitted, staff will use a reasonable response to identify and show the pages of the application that the applicant is addressing during the presentation. Following the normal procedure, commission members may ask the applicant questions about the application. After the application's presentation is complete, staff will read into record any public comments that were submitted after the staff report was completed and posted on the city website. First, those in support of the application, and then those in opposition. These comments will be limited to 10 minutes if submitted by a neighborhood association, and 3 minutes for all other comments. If the reading of the submitted written comments exceeds the time limit, staff will summarize those comments to fit within the time frame. Multiple submissions repeated the same comments, staff will summarize those comments. Public comments that were received in time will be included in the staff report and not be read in tonight's hearing. Public had an opportunity to register in advance to speak at this virtual hearing. Any comments that have been read, the applicant will have 5 minutes to offer any testimony and rebuttal. At the conclusion of the application's rebuttal testimony, the case will be closed. However, if the commission determines that there is substantial new evidence that was presented during the applicant's testimony during the hearing, or either during the rebuttal testimony, the case will be adjourned and held over to the commission's next announced meeting in order to give public additional opportunity to review and comment on the new evidence. After completing all the hearings tonight, the commission may elect to take a short break, which will be announced. After the hearing break, if any, the commission will commence deliberation and voting on all the applications, except the ones that may have been adjourned to a further future date. Please note that if your case is approved today, a written decision will be mailed to you within 15 business days, and the decision will inform you of the next step to take in the approval process. Before we open up the first case this evening, please note that we are all volunteers, and I would like to have each commission member to confirm their presence for the purpose of a roll call and to establishing a quorum for tonight's hearing, and introduce themselves and to mention the quadrant in which they live. And we'll start with Mr. Flower.
Brad Flower, South District.
Harding, East District.
Eugenio Marlin, Northwest.
Richard Mauser, Southeast.
Milton Pichardo, Northeast.
And Dave Watson, Southwest.
It looks like we have Markiba here.
Oh, Makiba, okay, I'm sorry.
So Markiba, if you just want to say which district you're representing.
So sorry, I'm just trying to get in there. I have a new phone. So sorry. Hi,
No worries.
Markiba Williams, Southwest.
Great, thank you. And
Happy
Markiba,
New
while I
Year,
have you here,
everybody.
were you able to visit the
Both
two
locations.
sites? Okay,
Yes.
great. Thank you so much.
No
All right.
problem. Thank you.
With that being said,
We'll
am I
have the first
ready?
case.
I'm good with the first case.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. So our first case is an official map amendment. The file is OMA 12122. The location is Chase Street or a portion thereof. It's in the R1 low density residential zoning district. The applicant is the Rochester School District. The request specifically is to amend the official map of the city of Rochester by abandoning the western portion of Chase Street for approximately 164 feet beginning from Abe Street. And this would be to allow for safe access to the north side of the Flower City School number 54. This is an action requiring City Planning Commission recommendation to the City Council, which means that this is an informational meeting and the Planning Commission will be voting to make a recommendation to the City Council. And I do have here that all present commissioners have visited the site.
Okay, and who do we have that will be speaking so I can swear them in?
We have a whole team of people. If you are one of the case one representatives, can you just say your first and last name for our chairperson?
My name is Roland A. Coleman II, Deputy Program Manager, and we'll initiate the discussion in terms of the presentation.
My name is Pepin Asilian. I'm the Program Director for the Rochester Schools Modernization, supporting Rolly Coleman.
My name is Michael Place. I'm an architect with Labella Associates.
Is that everyone? Let me just double check. I believe that is everyone for case one.
Okay, what I will do, I will swear you all in. And once I get through with the statement, just respond with your name and how you, if you agree with the oath. Do you solemnly affirm that the testimony that you're about to give in this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Yes.
I do.
Renee? Yes.
Yes.
Yes, from Roland A. Coleman also.
Thank you.
Mr. Sherman, I would like to, this basically for Tom, just a quick close that although I have a business relationship with 7 engineers, I was not involved in this project at all. It's my understanding that some of the support for case 1 came from 7 engineers.
All right, thank you, Mr. Pichardo.
Let me ask,
Yes.
so the salmon engineers?
7 engineers.
7.
7.
And are they representing the application here?
No, not at all.
No, they've just sent in something approving it.
They will be doing the presentation, is my understanding.
Okay, and you're employed by them?
Yes.
Yeah, then I think you should probably recuse yourself from this then.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is the process to follow now, Tom? Should I hear the,
You can turn off your video and mute yourself and go have a snack, and I'll text you
Yeah.
when we talk to the next case.
sounds good. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Tom.
Milton.
Okay, Mr. Rowland, you may start, sir.
Thank you. And in terms of protocol, my prime client, which is the representatives from the Rochester City School District, they have a conflicting meeting with the monthly superintendent's meeting that's going on concurrently until 6:30. So we will be presenting in their absence and to hopefully.
Looks like Lashara is here. So I just need our background support team to let Miss Evans in.
Wow.
Will do. Just give me 1 second.
Sure. So
Great.
Commissioner Watson, you will be swearing in Lashara Evans.
Okay.
There's so Miss Evans, our chairperson is just going to administer an oath and then just ask for your response.
Okay, sorry for my tardiness.
No worries. You got a lot on your plate.
Yes, Ms. Evans, let me swear you in. Do you solemnly affirm that the testimony that you're about to give in this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right.
Mr. Rowland, you may continue.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. In terms of very brief background, the current building replaced the original School 54 in 1961. Both of those buildings, and it's important to note, were built before the SED guidelines on minimum standards were adopted by the state. For example, specifically, the existing site is appreciably below the minimum standard of usable area. And to the tune, it's about 65% below that minimum standard. The RSMP in phase 2 reconstructed the school as a approved project in the phase 2, by which the building was completely reconstructed and the site was completely reorganized. It was reorganized in a phased manner with the expectation to achieve a phased urban campus, recognizing that would bring the school into closer compliance with the SED minimum standards through the acquisition of new land, part of which would be the Chase Street right-of-way, and the other portions are the bordering residential properties immediately to the north of, on the north side of Chase Street. There was a priority A component of that, which was essentially the west half of Chase Street. That was the priority A because that portion of Chase Street directly fronts the existing school's cafeteria and gymnasium front along Chase Street. And thus the students would have to cross Chase Street, which is obviously a public right-of-way, and the crossing of traffic for any student or school activity is a very, very serious concern with SED. We had to submit a site variance. The school being as old as it is, that variance was grandfathered as an administrative action. So that approved the improvements that we've made thus far. And SED likewise understood it was a phased development with the acquisitions of new land and continuing site improvements. The priority A work allowed us to install a new age-appropriate early childhood as well as intermediate child playgrounds. Those have been installed on the north side of Chase Street. That acquisition of land also allowed us to create a new busway, which would be along the west edge of Chase Street, which would be the north side of this street abandonment map that you're looking at the moment. Immediately to the left of the hatched area, a new on-site bus way was provided as previously all bus loading and unloading activities occurred on the street, which created tremendous traffic congestion around all four sides of the school. But now we've started the improvements wherein a significant portion of those buses are accommodated on site. New parking was installed and a true new main entry for the building was created in phase 1. Prior to this, the building had no main entry, no front door. So by providing this main entry as well as parking, we are responding to the notion of a command center in the event of emergency first responders, but also day to day in terms of the arrival and departure of students, visitors, parents, and the like, all occur now in a logical sequence wherein the parking occurs on site and the front door is immediately adjacent to the entry to the site. Now, these improvements obviously were driven with safety as a key component. I mentioned earlier the SED guidelines essentially in a new school would prohibit students crossing any moving traffic lane. The partial abandonment will allow the removal of that grandfathered condition. I mentioned the convenient parking for school events during school and as well as after hours and community. The district has a community school initiative for which this is a key component. And it accommodates right now most of the school's daily bus activity on site. The partial abandonment of Chase Street will allow us to accommodate all of the school bus activity on site and therefore create the most safe condition possible. The partial abandonment will obviously lessen traffic vis-a-vis the bus conflicts as well as parents and parking conflicts. It will allow us to create ADA pathways to all activities without any cross-traffic conflicts, to the playgrounds, to the new play field that the students previously did not have. And it also provides safe and proper engineering in terms of the required turnaround radii, be it the one residence that remains at 2 Chase Street, or service vehicles on the daily deliveries and activities at the school, or emergency vehicles for which the city traffic as well as the fire marshal have signed off on the turning radii, complying with the movement of their vehicles and ensuring full access to all sides of the school. So with that, as part of the Urban Campus Initiative and Community Schools Initiative, we convinced the school to relocate 3 specimen quality Japanese red maples, the largest of which was nearly 30 feet tall. And that now creates a new gateway memorial garden to a former teacher for which the plaque, there's a granite plaque that's been set in this garden as well, right at the intersection of Otis and Sherman Streets. Students can freely access the playgrounds that we've installed as well as the new green play field that we've created. And both of those are from facilities in the existing building, the cafeteria as well as the gymnasium located on the northwest half of the building along Chase Street as it currently exists. When we partially abandon it, as you can see in this hatched area, the students will be able to directly cross without any cross-traffic conflicts. In summary, we are fully prepared to accommodate all of the utility easements that have been requested, as we recognize Chase Street is a former right-of-way. It will be kept open and unrestricted in that vein. This results in a win-win solution right now in terms of the improvements of safety, as well as the busway improvement to get all buses off-site. It will continue to be a win-win in the future if possibilities allow the further acquisitions of properties and the complete removal of Chase Street, where in this campus will have the entire mega block consolidated and used strictly for school purposes without any vehicular traffic cross conflicts. So with that, we do have the principal here, which I was thanking the alignment of the stars to speak on behalf of the school, the improvements in the operations that the abandonment of Chase Street would allow. So Commissioner Principal Evans, if you would, offer us a few comments.
Yes. So I think the biggest challenge that we're facing for our school community is safety. Our students go outside for recess every day, no matter what, as long as it's above 20 degrees. And we also have pre-K students as well. We have pre-K 3 and pre-K 4. Currently, they're crossing a street where cars can go down at any time, and they do come down at any time. And yes, we try to be careful, make sure all our kids get across the street safely, but it really is an inconvenience, and it's dangerous. So being able to block that street off, even if it's partially, like I wish we really could block off the entire street like was in the original plan, to really accommodate for it, to feel like it's actually part of the school and the kids are not walking to another place to be able to play in the green space or the playground. We really need to block off that street. Also, for the bus loop, we're currently double parked with the buses, which creates another safety issue as well. Yes, it's better than what we used to have when the buses were on the street. That was extremely dangerous. And when I got there, we routed the buses to go around the corner because I was afraid of what could happen if a child steps off the bus into the street. But we're still double parked. And because we're double parked, that means kids are walking in between buses. And also cars are coming out the parking lot to go on the other side of the bus as kids are walking. So we really have to direct traffic during dismissal, which also brings another level of complexity as it pertains to student safety. So that's the main concerns for me, I think, and also our staff, is just the safety of children, being able to get to a playground without the fear of having cars come down that street. We've also had traffic come down that street where cars actually were pulled over on that side street while kids were actually in the playground. And yes, we know our kids see a lot of things sometimes we can't shield that from, especially what happens in the neighborhood. But that would reduce the chances of that happening if we actually was able to block off that street, and it literally would be like an area of play.
And with that, we certainly will await further questions or responses to the letters that have been submitted. We could address them now. I've lost track of our time allocation, but I do believe we are very close, if within
4 minutes remaining.
4 minutes remaining.
Yep.
Then I will address the first question that was raised by the chair as we listened to your general discussion before the formal hearing, and that is with regards to the school closing. It is our understanding that this building, which has been recently reconstructed, will continue in use for the entire foreseeable future. The nature of the program within the building was being discussed, and the board has not made a decision to our knowledge in that regard. And the letters that have been submitted, both of them allude to the closing of the building, closing of the school. The building and the school will remain as a public elementary Rochester school for the foreseeable future.
And actually, that proposal was taken off the table. It will remain Flower City 54. The superintendent removed that proposal about 2 weeks ago. realizing the importance to the neighborhood to serve Flower City students. So that proposal is not going forward. It is going to be Flower City 54. I would hope for the foreseeable future.
Thank you, Madam Principal.
We also have Michael Place on the panel. Not sure if he wanted to say a couple of words for the last minute remaining.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you, Pepin. Yeah, I'll just say that I've been a part of this process from the very beginning, start to finish, knowing what the school was at the very beginning, and our team of engineers and professionals really assessing the situation is really so appropriately outlined to you tonight. Safety has been a major concern of this project from start to finish, especially when it's related to the site. And our team, including those at the RSMP, have worked together to develop this plan to really complete that safety, renovation and process to increase the safety of the school. And so I'm in full support of what we've done thus far and think that it's necessary to bring that entire plan to fruition. And I think that's an important aspect to note here, that without doing that, we're really only partway there, and we need to complete that process by abandoning the street.
Okay, back to you, Rolly, to close it.
No, it's been better said than I could say, and I look forward to any questions that the board may have or the community, because there has been some misstatements or inartful words that created some confusion. The building will be there, and we are very, very proud of the improvements that have been made to that building as a facility for 21st century learning.
Thank you, and thanks for the opportunity.
Yes, Mr. Rowe, anything else that you'd like to share before we open it up for questions?
I'm girded myself for questions and want to face the medicine.
Well, hopefully it'll be some calming medicine. I guess at this time, I would like to ask the commissioners any questions for the applicant. Any questions? And my question was answered. Thank you so much, Mr. Coleman. I guess the only concern that I have, and this may be a staff answer, staff question, if with the abandonment of this portion of Chase Street, does that mean that there'll only be one traffic? I think there's only one residence that's on that street currently. Will that impede their ability to get in and out of their property at number 2 Chase?
Not at all.
No, thank you, Mr. Coleman. Yeah, per his testimony, that there will be unrestricted access on Chase Street.
Okay, that's the only question I had. Any other questions for the applicant?
It's Tom Worth from the Law Department. I just wanted to ask, would the buses, once the street's abandoned, would the buses, where would they go? Would they go on the open part of what's remained open on Chase Street, or would they have some way of using the closed part of Chase Street or somewhere else?
In response to that, first of all, there's an apology. I think you can imagine how difficult a presentation by an architect with no visuals, so to speak, is. If we could call back up that site plan, sure, that survey that you do have. That hatched area immediately to the left of it is the current busway that accommodates, my numbers might be slightly off. I'd have to look at the illustrious campus plan, but I believe 80% of the buses are now accommodated on that busway to the left. We are going to extend in a northerly direction across that westernmost portion of the hatched area and onto the corner property that I believe was the L-shaped nub of 12 Chase Street, as well as the house that is showing there, which I believe was 59 Ave Street. So that busway is going to essentially extend to the north, and a new egress curb cut would occur at that point so that the buses would all be off-site. There's a landscaping element as a greenway along Ave Street, and there'd be a new curb cut at about the location where the driveway is now for that house at 59 Ave Street, or that house that has been demolished at 59 Ave.
A quick correction, Rolly. I believe it's 56 Ave. So that we acquired.
I guess I saw it when the 6 was upside down one time, but no. Thank you, Pepin. 56 Ave. So we've acquired all of the residential properties on the west end of Chase, and that one property as you turn the corner onto Ave that will allow the extension of the full busway and thus the accommodation of 9 or 10 more, but 9 more buses, I believe, on that extension, including that portion of the abandoned right-of-way. The remainder of the abandoned right-of-way will be a green, dedicated, age-appropriate green space for the pre-K 3 and 4-year-olds and kindergartners that the principal made mention of. We do have a larger green space on the site that would be more so for baseball, soccer, football, those sorts of things. But this would be a dedicated play area as close to the school as possible, and likewise provide an unrestricted emergency vehicle lane because it would be graded and a substrate provided that would allow emergency vehicles to drive over it.
Thank you.
I do have a graphic if anyone is interested, and if you need to see it, I do have a graphic.
Can you call it up?
Yes, sir.
My only concern with sharing a graphic would be that we didn't provide the public enough time to review it.
Yeah, that's
understood.
Right.
All right. Any other questions in from the commission? All right, Anna, were there any other testimony people wanted to speak, or other than what we have in our staff report?
Just the 2 written comments included in your staff report. No written comments received outside of that, and no person signed up to speak at this evening's hearing.
Okay, well, then that being said, we will close this case, and we'll have you to, thank you, gentlemen, thank you, ma'am, and we'll have you to text, no, we can't, well, we'll text them after our vote. No.
Oh, we'll text him now. Yeah.
Actually, now that way we'll hear the second case.
Yeah,
thank you, gentlemen, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You mind if we listen until you come back from deliberations?
Please
Sure.
do.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay.
You'll go back into the kind of the viewing room, so to speak, but you're welcome to stand as long as you so choose.
Okay, you're going to have to help the digital.
We'll take care of all of those mechanics for you.
Great answer.
Thank you.
Yep. Okay, Milton's back. And I will bring it up.
Very good.
Okay. Alrighty, so our next case is our second case, which is a special permit. The file is E122122. The address is 423 Jefferson Ave. It's in an R1 low density residential district. Our applicant is Baraka Osman of Sumeni Grocery Store. Sorry, Baraka. And our request is to reestablish a grocery store, a non-conforming use in a vacant space of a non-conforming building operating from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily. This is an action requiring City Planning Commission approval, which means the buck stops here this evening with the CPC. And I have here that all present commissioners have visited the site.
And Mr. Osman is the only person speaking?
Correct.
Okay, and is he online?
He's probably working his way over.
Okay.
I think he's here. Let's see, just have to.
He's there.
Find our unmute button. Oh, here we are. Yep. Looks like we're joined by one other person too.
And will they both be speaking?
I believe so. If you gentlemen would like to introduce yourself, and then we can just jot it down for our record keeping.
Yeah, my name is Isa Buka. I'm the owner of the building.
So it's spelled ISSEABUKAR, I believe.
And my name is Baraka Osman, co-owner of 423 Jefferson Avenue. And I have the grocery store. It's under my name.
Okay, then I will swear both of you in if you will be testifying. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do. Yes, I do.
Thank you, gentlemen. You may proceed.
Actually, we bought the building last year, and it used to be restaurant and shoes shiny store something. Now we're trying to open a neighborhood grocery store, a small neighborhood grocery store. And also upstairs is apartment 1 and apartment 2 and 3, but down the front first floor front size, I'm trying to open a grocery store. And nothing is changing. The building, we're using available space and everything the same thing.
So the area used to be about business, and we are not changing the business area, but we need to change about the name and, the business they used to have in the beginning. And the building was closed, like, not activity in the area. And we need to bring back about the area business, especially in the neighborhood. And we need to gain about, accessible for the community. And there's available parking lot behind, because we also 177 and Dr. Samuel McQuay. And next site we have like some area used to be about restaurant, and we need to change that one in the future.
Okay, anything else you would like to share with the commission?
Just we need to, create about some kind of activity in the neighborhood, and we need to make sure that we are a small business, and we need to have some kind of gain about the neighborhood and make sure that people to get about what they need in the neighborhood that was not available right now.
Okay, anything else?
That's it for the time being. Any
Okay.
questions you have, the commissioner? We
All
can
right,
answer.
we'll see if we have any questions. Any questions for the applicant? I guess I have one or two. One, can you share with us your experience in operating a commercial enterprise such as this?
Yes, I'm a small business, and I used to have about cleaning business up to now running. They call about shadow cleaning. And I used to have about, a rental property last 10 years. And, our background, we came from Africa, and we have been here. I've been here more than 25 years. And I grew up in a business, and we know how to run business. And we are the first newcomer community that gaining about a lot. And we need to bring about the community need, especially about those newcomer for the United States, especially Somalian community and, West African community and all those. And we need to provide them about the food that was not available in the other, grocery stores in the neighborhood.
All right, thank you. Any other questions for the applicant? Any other questions? Thank you, gentlemen.
Wait, can I ask one question?
Yes, Tom.
This is Tom Worth from the Law Department. I'm wondering whether you intended to offer tobacco or lottery tickets at the grocery store?
No,
we cannot sell that.
we don't sell alcohol, or we don't have about lottery ticket because our religion, and we just need to have some kind of food and, anything that the community need, especially, and, gain about, because the area, if you look about, is Jefferson. Right now, they growing up about the business, and we need to be part of the, building the community, and especially in center and inner city.
And also the grocery store is not we're not cooking, it's just frozen food or the one package already, but it's not like something we cooking over there, just like some kind of grocery. It's not kitchen over there.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions for the applicants? All right, seeing none. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
At this time, any comments, Anna, from anyone for commenting about the application?
We did not receive any written or verbal comments. Nope.
Okay, That being said, that we will close this case. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
And I'm sorry, go ahead.
Can we stay until you get about the?
Oh, yes, absolutely. You may feel free to stay online.
Thank
We're
you.
not going to go anyplace anytime soon.
Thank you.
All right. That being said, if I could add this quick poll, the commissioners, do you want to go right into deliberation on the two cases? Thumbs up. Everybody okay with that? Okay.
So I'll
Yes,
just
Kim?
have our